I am Batman. Average Sniper.
Hey, what's up everybody? Average Sniper here and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'd like to talk to you about tips and tricks to win in Warzone. Now, I know there's a ton of videos out there on how to do this, and a lot of them have great tips, but the reason I waited so long to make mine is because I wanted to find the best tips and tricks. You know, I didn't just want to make a clickbait video that everybody else makes on the first day the game comes out just so they can get a lot of views. You know, the game's been out for a few months now. I've got tons of wins. I've had a chance to try a bunch of different classes and a bunch of different strategies, and I think I've come up with a combination that works best. So I am playing in solo, but you can apply these to duos, trios, and quads as well. Just depends. So the first thing you want to do is land in a place where there's a good contract. But if it looks like there's too many people going for the contract, just break off, land at the high ground, and give yourself a good position because there's going to be tons of people running around. So in this case, I got myself into a position on top of a roof where you could only get on top if you basically jumped from another roof. This guy wasn't expecting it, and even though I didn't have perfect aim, I was able to take him out. And that's part of the reason I'm making this video, because I want to make it for players that don't have godlike aim, that are more average players like I am, to help you guys get more wins. Because every time I watch a video about how to win that's made by a pro, it's very obvious that they can win a lot just because they're incredibly good at the game and incredibly good at aiming. And unfortunately, not all of us are like that. Notice I picked up an MP7. Always make sure you have a good close range gun and a good long range gun. You're about to see that come into play right now. So just when I think everything is clear and I feel like I can move around and loot, this guy shows up. I hear him slam open the door, so I know he's coming down the hallway. I put myself in a good position where it's hard for him to shoot me, and I get the kill. Very important to position yourself and not just step out into the open to fight someone when you hear them coming. Listen to the footsteps, listen to the direction that they're coming from, quickly look around, see what cover you have, and use that cover to your advantage. I know it sounds simple, but so many times I see people leave perfectly good cover to get into a fight and then die. Now, we purchased a loadout drop, even though there's another loadout drop that the map basically dropped for us. The reason I did that is because sometimes it is incredibly dangerous to get the loadout drop, especially if it drops in a crowded area like it did right here. In this case, it dropped in the middle of a field between two major compounds, which is basically death. You might get lucky and get it, but I was going for a win this game, so I didn't want to do that. Now, let's talk about your loadout drop. As you can see, my loadout drop contains an MP7 submachine gun and an HDR sniper rifle. The attachments I put on my MP7 are all for range and anti-recoil. That way I can basically use it as an assault rifle, and I don't put an optic on it because that does help it aim faster, even if you don't put any attachments specifically for aim faster. For the sniper rifle, I put a combination of aim down sights fast attachments and basically long range attachments. So I put a long barrel on it so that the bullets do more damage over range. This guy is just, I don't know what this guy in the Jeep is doing, but he made a huge mistake here when he jumped out. Which brings me to my next point. Make sure you have fun. If you're not having fun, I don't know what you're doing. For perk setup, you probably want to go with EOD, Overkill, and then Ghost on your second loadout drop. And then Amped is the one that I find works the best. So I parachuted into this place, and I'm at a threat level 3, which means someone's hunting me, and which means they are incredibly close. So you want to, if you don't know where they are, you want to play incredibly cautious when you're on a threat level 3. You and the enemy are right next to each other, and you probably just don't know where each other are. Now, the reason I looked out into this field is because I heard a sound that sounded like someone jumping off a roof and landing in the grass. Those are the audio cues you really need to pay attention to. If you need to turn your volume up to hear them, go ahead. This game is kind of annoying because if you turn your volume up too high, you basically just hear really loud sounds like driving and, oh crap, somebody's shooting at me. So this is a situation where I'm not going to take this fight, which brings me to my next point. Do not engage the enemy unless you can win. Now, if you're just playing to practice and have fun, take every gunfight because that's how you practice and get better at the game. But if you're at that point where you're just looking to get some wins and you're tired of getting owned all the time, do not take gunfights unless you know exactly where the enemy is and unless you have cover to use against them. The only time you should take a fight like that is if you literally do not have a choice. I'm not saying to run away from every gunfight. I'm just saying don't take gunfights that you don't have an advantage in. Get to cover, find a hiding spot, let the enemy come to you, then take them out. always put C4 on your class. That should be self-explanatory after what you just saw there. Always put C4 on your class. And the reason for having the sniper rifle, you're going to see that right here. All right, another thing you should do, and there's so many things to cover. I'm just trying to find the main ones, guys. Another thing you should always do is make sure that you have a gas mask. You're also about to see why the gas mask is so important. In an ideal world, you'd also want to have a UAV for the final circle, or a kill streak like the precision airstrike. And also, you'd want to have a self-revive. Those are things I do not have in this video because I don't have enough money for, and you'll see why in a second here. Now here's a perfect example of, I know there's a guy under me and he knows I'm on the roof. So I jump to this awning because I think he'd never expect me to be on this awning. When he gets pushed out by the gas, he's going to be looking at the roof for me, or trying to run somewhere where I can't see him from the roof, but I'll be able to see him here. So since I have a gas mask, I wait him out and I let the gas take over. And of course, there he goes. Immediately starts running when he's in the gas, and it's an easy kill. He was fortunately the last player here. And now we're in a situation that you'll find yourself in almost every match that you don't want to be in. You're in the gas, you're on the wrong side of the circle, and you have to make a run through the open. You never want to do this by choice. You only want to do this if it is literally your last resort. All right, so now we are in a top 10 situation. There's only 7 people left, 6 enemies, and this guy just happens to be beside me. We both have to take the same route to the zone. So instead of staying there to fight him, I decide to try and get an advantage over him and move closer into the zone so I can cut him off. I also stopped to buy a munitions box because I was quickly running out of ammo for my SMG. I felt like that was more important than a UAV or a kill streak at this point, because you want bullets in the end circle. You definitely want to have bullets in the final circle. So I know the general direction this guy was coming from, so I decided to wait here on cover and see if he runs by. And basically, as soon as I peek out, I look over here, and there he is, right where I thought he would be. I knock his armor off and get a couple more hits on him, and then he takes off. He's a smart player. He knows he's at a disadvantage, so he's continuing to move. This worries me a little bit, but this brings me to my next point. If you have an enemy like this, you need to take them out. You need to focus everything you have on this enemy, because they might be running away now, but this guy is actually just trying to get to a safe point where he has a better position to kill me. If I can take this guy out, I'm pretty much totally clear from the side that this guy is in. There's nobody else shooting at him except me, so that tells me he is most likely the only player over here. If I can take him out, that opens up this whole side and brings me that much closer and increases my odds by that much more to get the win. So that guy must have been mad, because as soon as he went down, he literally died. So he must have just, like, held down C or whatever you hold down to suicide yourself when you're down immediately. All right, now we're in a situation. We've made it to the top 4. There's only 3 enemies left. The only cover I have out here is this trench. You got to take what you can get. I hear a guy behind me. I hear him moving around. But I'm not going to rush him. It is very important in these situations that you bide your time, take your time. Just because you hear a sound doesn't mean you have to give away your position. The guy probably doesn't. There he is. Probably doesn't know where I am. So that was some good aim. I was able to take the guy out very, very fast and grab what little plates he had, which puts me pretty much back right where I was. Now we're in a 1v1 situation, and this is so important right here. You really don't want to move until the gas is right behind you. And in this video, the gas is pushing me. I'm trying to move with cover because I don't know where the last guy is. But I heard gunshots over here earlier and made a mental note. So make mental notes of where you hear gunshots in the final circle, because it will give you a really good idea of where the enemy is if you don't have a UAV, if you don't have a precision airstrike, or if they're running Ghost, and both of those are just not an option. So this log is perfect cover for me to pop up and shoot if I need to without revealing much of the rest of my body. So I decided to just lay here and wait. I can see that the circle is going to move towards me. It's actually moving towards me right now, which puts me in a good position if this guy is actually where I think he is. So I decide to peek up and take a look around, and I see the guy. So I get back in the bush and wait for him to leave cover and then finish him off. Guys, I hope this video was helpful. Leave your tips and tricks in the comments for other players because there are literally tons of stuff. We could take hours covering this, but these are the main ones I use to get wins. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you.
We'll be right back.